On a gray Thursday morning, at exactly 10:14 a.m., a man walked through the glass doors of NorthTrust Financial, one of the largest payment processing institutions in the city. The lobby was bright, polished, and filled with the soft echo of heels and hurried conversations. To anyone watching, the man appeared completely ordinary. Another employee, another courier, another figure absorbed into the endless rhythm of corporate seconds. He wore a neatly pressed gray suit, a navy tie, and a lanyard bearing what looked like the correct insignia. A black pair of gloves completed the ensemble. Nothing about him asked for attention. And that was the point.
Delivery for finance.
He moved with the casual confidence of someone who had walked this path many times before. He approached the front desk with a faint nod, placed a clipboard on the counter, and said in a tone so normal it blended into the air, picking up from internal operations. The receptionist barely looked up. She had seen this routine more times than she could remember. The contracted courier always came between 9:40 and 10:20, depending on morning traffic. She had memorized the color of the uniform, the style of the bag, the familiar, predictable rhythm of the exchange. Everything about the man matched that expectation. Her mind registered familiarity, comfort, routine. "Sure," she said automatically. "Go ahead." And just like that, the doors of one of the region's most secure financial zones swung open for him without a single question. What no one in that building knew, not yet, was that the man wasn't a courier at all. He wasn't an employee, wasn't associated with any partner company, and had never worked a day in the financial sector. He had no badge registered in the system, no appointment on the books, no legitimate business inside those walls. He was a stranger who had spent almost 4 months preparing for this single 8-minute visit. His preparation didn't involve hacking servers, forging access codes, or breaking into restricted networks. It wasn't the kind of criminal work that left traces on a keyboard or signs of forced entry. Instead, he studied the institution from the outside, the mundane, overlooked details that created the illusion of security. He watched the flow of workers entering the building, took notes on how many guards were present at different hours, and memorized the daily rhythms of foot traffic. But most importantly, he studied the courier. Every weekday, at nearly the same time, the real contracted courier would arrive. The man recorded him from a distance, his posture, his walking pace, the way he adjusted his tie, the slight forward tilt of his shoulders when he carried the transfer bag. He learned the exact shade of the courier's suit under different lighting, noting how it appeared darker in shadow, and how the tie contrasted under the harsh glow of the lobby's ceiling lights. He learned the small imperfection in the courier's left shoe, the keychain clipped to his belt, the way he held the clipboard with his thumb over the top corner. He learned everything.
The man bought a duplicate suit online after matching fabric patterns through screenshots. He ordered the same tie from a shop that specialized in discontinued corporate uniforms. The lanyard took more time. He had to recreate the design himself using high-resolution photographs taken from a cafe across the street. It wasn't a perfect replica, not if someone studied it carefully, but he knew no one ever did. People trusted the things they saw every day. He rented an apartment 2 blocks away just to observe the building without drawing suspicion. He spent evenings practicing the courier's walk in the mirror, adjusting his posture until his movements felt automatic. He practiced speaking in the courier's calm, neutral tone. The goal was never to look extraordinary. The goal was to look boring, so boring that the mind slid over him without effort. By the time he entered the building on that Thursday morning, he was as close to perfect as a human impersonation could be. Inside, he He passed through the lobby and followed the short hallway that led to the restricted operation zone. No alarms blinked red, no guards stepped in front of him. Everyone saw the uniform, the bag, the gloves, and the lanyard. Everyone saw what they were conditioned to see. When he reached the internal cash transfer room, he repeated the phrase he had practiced for weeks: "Pick up for Courier transfer routing." The attendant didn't look twice. She stamped a routine form, slid a black transfer bag across the counter, and logged it in the system. The bag contained over $1 million in cash transfer movements, sealed, coded, and prepared to be transported to an external processing center. "Here you go," she said casually. He nodded once. "Thank you." Then he turned and walked out exactly as he had walked in. 8 minutes after he entered the building, he exited with the bag in his hand. No one questioned him. No one slowed him down. No one knew anything had gone wrong. The cameras recorded everything, of course. They caught him walking through the lobby, stepping through the elevator doorway, passing by the security desk. They caught the moment the building's automatic doors opened for him, as if he were an expected guest rather than an intruder. But the footage would mean nothing until it was too late.
The real Courier arrived at 10:45 a.m., carrying his authentic badge, his real clipboard, and his legitimate paperwork. When he approached the reception desk and said, "Pick up from internal operations," the receptionist felt a strange, cold weight settle in her chest. I thought you came already," she said. The Courier frowned. "No, this is my first stop today." Her eyes widened. She pressed the alarm under the desk. Panic spread through the building within minutes. Security teams rushed into the operations sector, checking logs and confirming signatures. The transfer bag was gone. The form was signed. The cameras showed a courier. No, someone who looked exactly like a courier, walking out with the bag as if he belonged there. Supervisors shouted. Directors demanded answers. Investigators arrived within the hour. They reviewed the footage again and again. They paused, zoomed in, enhanced. But the face they saw was unremarkable. No scars, no tattoos, nothing identifying. It was a face designed to blend in, not stand out. The suit matched, the tie matched, the gloves matched. Every visual detail lined up with the real Courier's uniform. "He even walks like him," one investigator said, watching the footage with disbelief. Another replied, "That's the scariest part." Over the next weeks, law enforcement agencies tried to reconstruct how the theft happened. They discovered no forced entry, no tampered locks, no breached firewalls. The building's digital systems showed nothing out of the ordinary. No cloned badges were scanned, no suspicious signals were detected. The man had walked through the front door, collected a bag of money, and walked out. The only anomaly found was subtle. The lanyard visible on the cameras had a slightly older design, one discontinued 2 years earlier. But the security teams admitted they had never memorized the difference. They saw a rectangle with a photo and a logo, and their minds did the rest. The man counted on that. Despite extensive investigation, interviews, surveillance footage from surrounding streets, facial recognition attempts, he disappeared completely. No digital footprint, no financial activity, no traceable travel. It was as if he had vanished the moment he stepped outside the building. Rumors spread among the investigators. Some believed he had help from someone on the inside. Others thought he was a skilled criminal with a background in intelligence work. One analyst proposed that he wasn't after the money at all, that the theft was a demonstration, a test of how easily trust could be manipulated. But the most unsettling detail came weeks later, when one investigator examined the footage frame by frame and noticed something strange. The man never glanced at any camera. He never hesitated at any door. He moved as if he had memorized the building long before he entered it. His confidence was so complete that even seasoned security staff admitted they would have waved him through. Months passed. The money was never recovered. The thief was never identified. The case grew cold. Not because the investigators stopped trying, but because there was simply nothing to follow. The building updated its protocols, retrained its staff, replaced its uniforms, redesigned its badges, and installed additional ID verification systems. But none of it erased the reality of what had happened. A man had walked into a fortified financial institution with nothing but a costume and a plan, and taken a fortune in less than 10 minutes. He didn't need weapons. He didn't need force. He didn't need technology. He only needed people to believe he belonged. And they did. To this day, no one knows where he went, what name he used before the theft, or whether he ever planned another operation. Some say he left the country within the hour. Others think he stayed close, living a quiet life on stolen money. A few believe he never cared about the cash, that the real target was the system itself. A system that trusted uniforms more than faces. A system that mistook routine for security. A system that couldn't imagine a flaw so simple. In the end, the lesson wasn't about the theft. It was about how ordinary a lie can look. A gray suit. A navy tie. A silent bag. And a man who understood that invisibility is easiest when you look exactly like everyone expects you to.